Alright, so today we're doing Chapter 8 review on right triangle trig, and I'm going to try and do this work on a separate sheet of paper, okay? So let's go ahead and do it. First of all, number one, let's take a look at this triangle. We want to find the value of each trig ratio. The ratio, now if we're going to do the trig ratio, ratio means fraction, okay? So we need the fraction, okay? So we're going to get 6 answers. We're going to want the... And Katie, help me make sure I'm on the right track here. I'm going to take the sine of p. I want to find the cosine of p. And I want to find the tangent of p. I want those answers. I want the fractions. And I want the sine of g. I want the cosine of g. And I want the tangent of g. Okay? I'm going to label the names in pencil because when I go to the other side, it's going to switch the names, right? So first let's go to angle P. So if I go to angle P, right? Go to angle P, then the 8 is my opposite side, the 15 is my adjacent, and the 17 is my hypotenuse, right? So I'm just going to write in real quickly, op, hype, silly me, op, adjacent, and hype. Okay, how am I doing? So, sine. Up there, sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So it's just going to be 8 over 17. That's all I want. I just want the fraction. Okay, 8 over 17. Cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So I just want 15 over 17. I just want that fraction. That's all. Tangent. Opposite over adjacent, so 8 over 15. So far so good, everybody with me? Now if I go to the other angle, I'm going to go to the other angle, and I'm going to erase my names because they're going to switch around. If I go to angle G, then the opposite would be 15, right? And the adjacent is the 8, and the hypotenuse is 17, okay? So let's see what we get. So from here then, sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is just the 15 over the 17. Cosine, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is 8 over 17. And then tangent, which is going to be my opposite over my adjacent, is 15 over 8. Okay? Thumbs up? Okay, thumbs up. Can everybody do that tomorrow? Okay, everybody? Okay, that should be easy. Agreed? I'm hoping. Okay, it all comes down to knowing what the name of the sides are, correct? Okay, so then, number 2. Let's go ahead and look at number 2, and I'll redraw number 2 here. Alright, 50 and 12, and I've got triangle CAT. And we're going to solve it. So first of all, there's a few things that are easy. I think getting angle A would be the easiest to get. You guys agree? Angle A right off the bat. So I know these two angles have to add up to 90. So right off the bat, angle A is equal to, we'll go 90 minus 50. So angle A is going to be 40 degrees, right? So I know for sure angle A is 40. So I'll put my 40 right in there, okay? Now, the next step is to find a side, okay? So we go through that little sheet, and I don't have it in front of me because I gave it to Soli, which I'm happy to give it to Soli, but I got it memorized. So step 1, it says pick an angle to work with. Pick an angle. Jaden, which one do you want? You want T or A? It doesn't really matter.
T.
T it is. So I'm going to circle T, okay? Step 2 says use the given side. Hunter, what's our given side?
12.
12 it is, right? Step 3, we got little a, we got little t. Step 3, choose a side to solve for, okay? Emma, what do you want to solve for? Little a or little t? Doesn't matter to me. Little t. So Emma has forced us to use sine. We have to use sine. How do I know that? Because the name of t is the opposite, right? And 12 is the hypotenuse. So it says set up the correct trig ratio. Well, if I want to find the opposite, and I know the adjacent, or the hypotenuse, opposite hypotenuse, so look up there, and it's got to be sine. So let's go sine of 50 is equal to the opposite, which is t, over the hypotenuse, which is 12. How am I doing? Okay, and then we're just going to solve, cross multiply, so the 12 comes up here. 12 sine of 50 equals t, right? And I'm just going to use my calculator, okay? Alright, I can do that. 12 sine 50, boom, and I get an answer about 9.2, okay? Got it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, I see one thumb up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, 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 good. Jaden, thumb up. Okay, good. Nate? Good, okay. So I'm going to put that in there. 9.2. Okay, next step. I got to find little a. Okay, so if I read my sheet, it says use Pythagoras Theorem. Why not? Why not? Just go a squared plus 9.2 squared equals 12 squared, right? If I bring over the 9.2 squared, I'd have a squared equals 12 squared minus 9.2 squared, and calculator time, right? You guys agree with that? Calculator time, so let's put that in there. Let's go ahead and go clear. 12 squared minus 9.2 squared. Okay, and I'm going to take the square root of that, because that's a squared equals that. So I take the square root of my 59.36, square root of that answer, and I get an answer of about 7.7. So little a is about 7.7. Okay, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, that was easy, right? Okay, you ready for triangle 3? Turn the page. Number 3, okay?
Wait, can you go back for a second?
I would love to go back. Yep. Happy to go back for you. Ben, it's the Ben triangle, isn't it? Okay. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, Jaden, give me thumbs up when you got it, okay? Oh, it's a 59.36. I'll show you my calculator. See, I got the 59.36. So just take the square root of that, okay? I'm just doing Pythagoras, okay? Okay, you ready? Okay, let's do Ben's triangle, okay? So here is Ben's triangle. I've got a 3 and a 10, triangle B, E, N. That would make this little e, and then it would make that little n and little b, okay? So, right off the bat, okay? Step 1, you do not know an angle, right? So you look at your two notes, right? In your notes, one of them says do not know an angle. So, step 1, pick an angle to solve for, okay? So, I don't know, let's see, Leland, which one do you want to find, B or N? Doesn't matter to me. Let's do B, circle, okay? And I like to circle them because it gives me a visual, okay? Step 2, according to your notes, says pick the two given sides. David, what are our two given sides?
3 and 10.
You guys agree? 3 and 10. Now, set up the correct trig ratio. So let's get some names to these sides. So that is my opposite side, right? That is my adjacent side. Okay, so I got opposite adjacent. So opposite adjacent. Tangent, right? So we're going to go tangent. It says, well, tangent of theta, but I'm really finding tangent of B, right? Tangent of B is equal to, according to that, opposite over adjacent. So it's 10 over 3. But, and I'll say it probably for what, the 20th time? If you need to find the angle, what button do you push?
Inverse.
There you go. All right. That was awesome. Everybody agree? So if you need to find the angle, let's use the inverse button. So we're going to go tan inverse of 10 over 3. Let's use our calculator. We're going to go tan inverse of 10 divided by 3, and you get about a 73.3. Now that makes sense, doesn't it? You got an answer that makes sense, so that's helpful. That's angle B. Okay, now, if you read your sheet, it'll say that what the next thing is to find the other angle, but that should be easy because we're going to just define that angle and subtract from 90, right? That's 73.3. I know those two have to add up 90, so I've got 90 minus 73.3. I'm going to go 90 minus 73.3, and I get an answer about 16.7 for angle N. And then finally, let's find little e. How do I do that? Yeah, let's do Pythagoras Theorem. Everybody, 3 squared plus 10 squared equals e squared. And some people actually use trig, right, to get these. You can. Okay, so 3 squared plus 10 squared, 109. Why am I doing that? I already know that's 109. I can do that one in my head. And then Megan, or I'm going to, not Megan, I'm sorry. Jade, I'm going to take the square root of that, right? Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense?
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, good. Square root of 109, about 10.44. Okay. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Let me see. Thumbs up. I want to see. Thumbs up. Good. If it's thumbs, always be honest with me. If it's a sideways, I need to know. Okay. So good. Okay, we'll keep working on it. Okay. All right. Number 4. Number 4. All right. Eight, 90, and x. Now, there are 2 ways to do this one. 2 ways. And you could do it either way. I could go Pythagoras Theorem, 8 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared.
Oh, you're missing the 45.
But because I knew it was a 45, 90, I already know the answer is 8 squared to 2. Whoa, where'd that come from? There you go. Or if you want to go 8 squared plus 8 squared, go ahead. It doesn't bother me, but I think that's a lot faster. You guys agree with Katie pointed up there? It's a special right triangle. You could go, 8 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared, but that would be more work than I want to do, okay? 5, how am I doing? 5, I've got my x, my y, I've got my 30, 60, 90, right? And this is 20, okay? So, you ready? Well, you could use trig. You could use trig. You could set up opposite over hypotenuse, and you could use trig, okay? You could use up adjacent over hypotenuse and use cosine. You can use trig, but I know that's 10, and I know that's 10 squared to 3 because I'm so smart, right? No, I'm not so smart. It's right up there. Okay, guys agree? Now, if you want to use trig, you can. You can find it by opposite over hypotenuse using sine, or you could find it by adjacent over hypotenuse and use cosine. Remember, this is cool because we've got more than one way to do things. Isn't that nice? I like it. We're so smart, we can do it in several ways, okay? And 6, with lots of tools in the toolbox, okay? 18, x, 60, and 30. Okay, right here, it's kind of confusing because right here, it's supposed to be some x squared to 3, but it's not. It's just an 18, right? And I want to find x, right? So let's divide. So if I divide, solve for x, divide, and I get 18 divided by the square root of 3, but that just becomes 6 square roots of 3. Or if you want to use regular right triangle trig, you could use tangent, you could use opposite over adjacent, and you get the decimal answer there. Okay, that'll work also, okay? If you want to use opposite over adjacent, you can. Turn the page. And, I need a piece of graph paper, don't I? That's right. I've got graph paper around here somewhere. I am running out of graph paper. So if you need graph paper, you're going to have to help each other out. Because I'm running out. Alright, blame it on first semester kids. We're using up all my graph paper, okay? Alright, let's... And we got R is at 4, 3. R. S is negative 2, 3. And T is at negative 2, negative 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay. How am I doing? So it's still just a right triangle. You guys agree? I mean, that's definitely a right angle right there. And then let's make it easy. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this side is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This side's 8. Okay. So we've got to find angle R, the measure of angle R, and we've got to find RT. Okay. How am I doing? Am I going too fast? Well, angle R. Let's see. If we need to find we need to find an angle. We go through our notes. Yeah, I have memorized. Of course I have memorized because I made the sheet, right? Step 1, pick an angle to solve for. Well, how about r, huh? Because that's what we're asking for, okay? Step 2, use the two given sides, that one and that one, okay? Step 3, set the correct trig ratio. Well, let's see, that would be my opposite, right? That's my opposite. That's my adjacent, okay? Opposite adjacent, opposite adjacent, opposite adjacent. It's got to be tangent, right? Tangent of r is equal to opposite, which is 8, over adjacent, which is 6. Now, one more time, Jaden, what button do I need to push if I want to find an angle? Everybody agree? The inverse button. So I need an angle. We're going to push the inverse button. So we're going to hit the tangent inverse of 8 over 6. Tan inverse of 8 divided by 6. And I can answer about 53.1 degrees. Okay? Okay, and then finally, let's find RT. How would you find RT? How would you find RT? Yeah, let's just use Pythagoras Theorem, right? 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared, right? 36 plus 80, 64, I can 64 equals c squared. Add them together, you get 100 equals c squared. We get 10, right? Jonna, what are you doing? You know this, though, don't you? Yeah, you know this. Yeah, we're going to do this coming up pretty soon. Okay, so, thumbs up. Turn the page, huh? Oh, story problems. Here's the good news. Story problems with trig are easy. You know why? Seriously. Oftentimes in story problems, the hard part is setting up the problem. Do you agree? So you just need a right triangle. Does that make sense? You just need, if you can make a right triangle, you can do them, okay? So let's take a look at the first one, okay? So it says draw a picture. So an 18-foot ladder leans against a 12-foot wall. So number 8. All right, so here's my ladder, right? Here's my wall. How's that look, okay? That makes sense. There's my ladder. Here's my wall. Okay, we're assuming 90 degrees because we assume that they built it straight, hopefully, right? So then what's the angle formed by the ladder and the ground? Opposite hypotenuse, right? Opposite hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse, which one's it going to be? Sine. Don't say sin, that's in church, okay? Sine theta equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So we're going to take the inverse of it. So we're going to go sine inverse, right? Okay, and we're going to go sine inverse. And we get about 41.8. Okay. Good?
No.
Okay, no, I'll wait for you. Go ahead, I'm hungry, so while you're catching up, I'm going to find my lunch. Where's my lunch? Or my breakfast, right?
Or you call it brunch.
I don't know. I shouldn't call it lunch because by the time, the second period is done, it's gone. It is gone.
What do you eat for your lunch?
I usually don't eat lunch. You guys see, well, unless I go home. Most of the time I don't eat lunch because you guys are all in here, right? Yeah. So. Okay, number 9. You guys ready for 9? Okay, number 9. So number 9, the shadow of a tree on the ground is 18 feet long and the angle of elevation at the top is 54. What's the height of the tree, okay? So, let's draw a picture, okay? Here's my tree. It's a pretty sparse tree, right? Okay, and the shadow is 18 feet. Yeah, isn't that funny? And the elevation is 54 degrees. Find the height of the tree, right? So from the angle, opposite adjacent, right? Opposite adjacent, it's got to be tangent. Opposite adjacent is tangent of 54 equals opposite over adjacent, which is t over 18. How am I doing? Seem obvious? Seem easy? Multiply up the 18, right? Bring the 18 up there. Equals t, and I'm just going to use my calculator. What is 18 times the tangent of 54 equal? Boom. 24.77 feet. How am I doing? All right, number 10. We are almost done, you guys. We're close. Number 10. Okay, we have a wheelchair ramp. 4 feet. Now the ramp. Now don't mess this up. You ready? Don't mess this up. This is the ramp. You agree? This is not the ramp. That's the ramp. Where you're going to miss this is you're going to put the number here. It's not. That's the ramp, and the ramp is 4 feet. Okay. Now, the height of the ramp is 4 inches. Don't miss this tomorrow. Don't be tricked. What do you notice?
8 inches.
Right. So let's make this 48 inches. Does that make sense? Right? So then we got the same, we got inches and inches, right? So we need the angle of elevation. Here it is. Opposite hypotenuse, opposite hypotenuse, opposite hypotenuse. So let's use the sine of theta equals the 4 over the 48, right? What button, Jaden?
Inverse.
You are so smart. Yes, I'm going to use the inverse button, sine inverse of 4 divided by 48, and I get about 7.8 degrees. 4.78 degrees, right? And it needs to be a small angle. Poor grandma's got to get up that ramp, huh? If you make it too steep, she's not going to be able to get up there, huh? Okay, we're almost done, honest. Number 11. Okay, turn the page. All right, almost done. 11. So an airplane flies an elevation of 8,000 feet and starts to ascend towards the airport with an angle of depression of 8 degrees. Okay. So how far is the plane from the airport? Okay. So let's draw a picture. Let's go 8,000 feet. Right. Here's my airport. Okay. Now the angle of depression, yes. Angle of depression here is 8. That's 8. Not that. That's 8. Not that. That's 8. Not that.
Got it.
Okay. Some kids will put it here. I'm like, no, that's not it. Angle of depression, right, goes down. But that's also 8. You guys agree with that?
Yep.
Alternate interior angles, right? So 90 degrees. So this is the distance. This is the distance the airplane has to fly. Does that make sense? That's the distance, right? He's coming in. That's the distance. This is the ground distance, right? This is the airplane distance. So let's set it up. Opposite hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse. It's got to be sine. Sine of 8 equals 8,000 divided by d. Now what do you do if d's on the bottom, right? You cross multiply. You bring up the d, then you have to divide by the sine, right? Bring that up. You have to divide by that. So let's just switch places and go d is equal to 8,000 divided by sine of 8. Let's go ahead and put that on there. 8,000 divided by sine of 8. And it's a pretty big number, but the airplane's way out there. It's about 57,482 feet away. And in terms of miles, we could divide that by, you don't have to do this, 5,280. Just curious how many miles, but it's about 11 miles out, okay? It's coming in, it's about 11 miles out. Okay, last one, huh? Last one. And it's very similar to our warm-up today, right? Take this away, swoop it away. Good thing you guys saved paper, right? Right, Isabel? Good thing you saved paper, because I waste a lot, huh? Number 12. Here we go. So check it out. 68, 10, and 10, all right? So let's find the base and the height of the triangle. So first of all, to find the base, just exactly what you did before. Okay? Make it into a right triangle, okay? Agree? And let's just look at this triangle right here, okay? This angle is 34 degrees, right? And let's find that. Let's call it x, right? So just look at the yellow triangle only, okay? Because we need a right triangle. Opposite hypotenuse, right? Opposite hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse, which one am I going to use? Opposite and hypotenuse, which one?
Sine.
Sine. Go sine of 34 is equal to the opposite or hypotenuse, right? Multiply up to 10. 10 sine 34 equals whatever x is. I don't know. 10 sine 34. About 5.6. But that's only from there to there, right? That's 5.6, right? That's also 5.6, right? Which would make this 11.2. Okay, there we go. And finally, the height. Okay, the height. Okay, so adjacent hypotenuse, adjacent hypotenuse, adjacent side hypotenuse, which one? Adjacent hypotenuse, which one? Cosine. Cosine of 34 is equal to my adjacent, which is 8h over 10. Bring up the 10, cross multiply, so it's 10 times the cosine of 34 equals h. 10 cosine 34, and I get an answer of about 8.3. Okay, there it is. There is a small homework assignment. Okay, not bad, but we need to keep practicing this, all right?